Hello, everyone. Welcome once again to The Buddy List. You're about to listen to our third episode with one of my close high school friends, Caley Luna, someone I've only seen 3 times in the past 17 years. We discuss her battle with type 1 diabetes, what it's like to be a music teacher nowadays, and has bullying gotten worse since we experienced it long ago? Please enjoy, and don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. Here is episode 3 of The Buddy List. Alright. Welcome to episode 3 of The Buddy List. Joined today by Caley. What's your middle name?
Brooke.
Caley Brooke.
Bowen Luna.
Bowen Luna. I knew the rest of your name. So what was your screen name back in the day? We were friends on AIM.
My first one,
Mm-hmm.
C19 Manatee.
Why?
Because I liked the animal. The C was my first name. It was so stupid. But that
C19 Manatee.
Yeah. And then 19 because that was the day I was born.
Well, I guess that's better than Larissa _ Pace, which was Larissa's screen name.
My newest one's in foreign language, so people can...
Lieblichhorn.
7.
That was your screen name back when we were friends on AIM.
Yep.
So you moved away after high school. So we went to high school together,
Yep.
Whippany Park. She hated it. She hated her first high school, and then which high school did you hate more?
I didn't hate Whippany.
All right, so you hated the first one. You hated Hanover Park.
I didn't hate. It was just, it didn't go right with my pre-existing conditions, so I needed to be in a safer environment where I could pass out.
That makes a lot of sense. I mean,
Outdoor campus, I don't want to pass out in a field.
People don't know that, but yeah, it's very weird. Is that common in New Jersey to have outdoor, like your classes, you walk out, you go outside, and then you walk to your classroom, which is in another like building?
Mm-mm.
Every classroom. Because I the only time I was at HP was to take my, what do they call it?
SATs.
SATs, exactly. It's the only time I've ever been there. And I was like, what is this? Why am I walking outside? It's probably beautiful in the springtime and even in the fall. Like, I'm a fan of, jacket weather, so it's kind of cool, not too hot, but like...
But I think they built it on a swamp or something, like, historically, and the school's sinking. Like, it's on a marsh or a swamp, and it's just...
So how long do they have?
I don't know.
But,
that's a good question.
Yeah, but, yeah, it's so funny. You have to wear your winter coat to go to each class.
Yes.
In the winter. That's so stupid.
And rain boots or bring umbrellas, and it's just,
And it's not like it's nice weather here all the time. Actually, the best weather, you're not even in school.
True. Yeah. Yeah. But, like...
Are they heated, like inside?
Yes.
Well, I guess they have to
Yeah,
be, probably by law.
And AC. But,
I don't think we had AC.
And each room had, like...
But HP always had the bigger budget. They took all the... Even though we were a way better school.
They took the entire budget. But I remember in the classrooms, there was, like, TVs. So video announcements were on the TVs. Each TV, there was, like, no phones. And
That's pretty cool.
But I was only there for 1 year, and then I transferred to Whippany because I thought I'll just pass out.
You were only one year. So it wasn't in the middle of the year?
Mm-mm.
So it was after freshman year, you were like, get me out of here.
Yep, in summer, I transferred over, and
How was the process of that?
It was hard.
Because I feel like usually they'd be like, no, why would we do that? You don't live there. You
Yeah.
can't do that.
But I had documentation of, like, I've been diabetic since I was 3.5, and, I do pass out a lot, and, my sugars are wonky, and going from outdoor to indoor in the cold weather, my sugars would just drop all the time, so I was just like, I feel more comfortable in an environment where I don't have to change climate so much, and...
Yeah, because I guess, your worst fear was, like, you just pass out in the wintertime and freeze to death.
And people would just walk all over me and not...
But why would they do that? That's terrible. You really thought they would do that?
Yeah, I guess. I know people would bring me to the nurse, but, like, if you see someone clonked out, they'd probably, like... Well, nowadays, they would Snapchat and be like, look! But...
Yeah, you'd be famous.
I would be
You'd go
internet
viral.
famous.
They'd be like, oh, that's a passed out girl in the snow.
Yep, exactly.
You'd be famous. I guess fear of that kind of thing, was that the main reason why you moved schools?
Yeah. And then I don't know, I just felt that was the main reason, but I did get picked on for being diabetic from an early age.
Well, what would they say? Like, how do you get picked on for diabetes?
Being different, you know?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
in the
But it's not like it's something you can see.
No.
So, like, as a young kid, like, what would kids even know?
I would tell them I was diabetic. I would get excluded from birthday parties. Parents wouldn't know what to do, so everyone would get a cupcake when they came to class. They would like throw like an apple or an orange on my desk, and it's considerate, but
But
they don't
an apple
ask.
still has sugar in it.
Yeah, true. But most of the time, they would look at you and be like, "Am I gonna catch it? Is it contagious?" And I was like, "No, it's autoimmune, so my body's fighting itself." And I to this day try to take good care of it. You know, there's complications, but I'm what they call a brittle, which is my sugars go from 400 to 40 in like 20 minutes.
That happened like yesterday.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You were like, I don't know, what was it, at like 300 two something?
Yeah.
And then like you like chugged it, and there's a lot of sugar in Coca-Cola.
Oh, yeah.
I don't drink Coca-Cola because I get all hopped up.
Even like this is like 60 grams of, you know,
And
carbs.
it was still going down though.
Double arrow down.
And then we ate, and then finally
kind of leveled
Yeah.
out. But it's just anything affects a brittle, like stress, weather, everything. Emotions.
So that's a real term they use, a brittle?
Brittle.
Are
yeah.
there different terms for how bad, like?
No, but I'm brittle because I'm the worst of the worst. I have diabetic friends who their sugars are just streamlined. They barely have to take insulin,
And they have the same kind of diabetes.
Yep.
Which type is that?
type 1.
Type 1.
And it's called juvenile onset, but adults can get it too.
Really? That's crazy. Because you only really think about like type 2 people getting type 2. Like my dad was pre-diabetic for years because it runs in the family, and then he was finally diabetic. So you don't hear about that. Like that's not a well-known thing, I don't think.
And my mom actually caught it before the doctors because I had, believe it or not, the way I developed diabetes was from stomach flu.
Wow.
And I just did not recover from it. And it was New Year's Eve, 1991. And my mom called the doctor and was like, you're diabetic. Yeah, and she's like, I think my daughter's diabetic. You know, she's been urinating a lot, loss of weight. And as a 3-year-old, you shouldn't be losing weight.
Yeah, no.
And they're like, no, it's just recovery from the stomach flu. And then, so they brought me in, did blood tests. And then the doctors called my mom. They're like, you were correct. So you need to admit her to the hospital now. And when I went in the hospital, my sugar was close to 940. And the range should be... should be between like 80 and 120.
Okay, so that's like healthy. Like,
yeah,
that's where you want to be.
Should be. But like, no, my sugar was...
So what's like death?
You start to feel bad around 300.
Like a coma.
913.
Yeah.
I should have been in a coma. I shouldn't been coherent there. Because in 8th grade one time, my insulin pump failed, the medicine I take. And I wasn't getting insulin at all. And so I went into something called diabetic ketoacidosis, DKA. And your body starts breaking down like the glucose and it becomes like acidic. My sugar at that one was like 913. And they admitted me to the hospital. And the doctor told me I was 15 minutes away from kidney failure and a coma.
How, like, where were you when that happened?
Excuse me. I was here. It was 8th grade.
No, I mean, like, where? Like, were you in school? Because that would have been worse if you were in school.
I didn't go to school that day.
Oh, okay. So you were just feeling like crap the whole day.
So, yeah, I thought I had, like, a stomach bug because when you get DKA, you throw up.
Yeah.
And it's, like, the bowel. And...
The bowel. She's been living in Texas. It's the bowel.
Bile. And...
It's the bile.
And, but it just kept happening. Like, I would try to... drink water, couldn't keep it down. Ice cubes, couldn't keep it down. Couldn't keep toast down. So my mom's like, you got to go now. And they hooked me up. I had like 3 or 4 IVs in each arm, a heart monitor. And I was so out of it. Like, I thought I could bring an ice machine home. And I was just not making sense. And I would be in and out of consciousness. I was, believe it or not, in and out of consciousness. I didn't go to a coma, but
right.
I would wake up and be like, where's Dad? And Mom's like, you were asleep for 17 hours.
Oh.
And then Dad would show up, and it was just different. And I just remember I had an audition coming up for a region band for French horn, and I just kept telling them, I want my French horn. They're like, if you stay in one more day, you can bring your horn. But they discharged me so I could go do the audition. I looked like hell because I had all these hematomas and bruises from all the IVs and stuff. But they got me a new pump because it was a faulty pump.
Yeah.
And so they're like, we're going to ship you one free of charge, which is good because those are the medical, yuck.
Yeah. That's crazy. So the whole point of that was, well, not the whole point. The reason for that was it failed.
It failed.
So
yep, no insulin.
Does that happen? Is that common?
No.
And like, what would cause that? It just.
I had an early model of the insulin pump, so there was a screw inside that came loose or something. So it wasn't pushing the plunger of the insulin in. So I don't know how long I didn't get insulin, but I could feel like it was just death. And I would not want anyone to go through that because it's not fun. It's not fun. And then when people were like, oh, just eat cinnamon.
Cinnamon?
Yeah, they said that'll cure type 1. I was like, mm-mm.
So all those kids doing the cinnamon challenge years ago, they were all cured.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Magic.
That's like that episode of House that said, oh, what was it? Well, I forget what disease it was, but he was like, orange juice cured it. And I think it was something crazy like...
random.
Yeah. Some terrible disease. And he faked the results just to make it go through. And
Yeah.
obviously he got fired. But yeah, so the pump you have now,
Yes.
How does that work? Like, it's in you right now.
Yeah.
Like you have
I have like
a tube.
a little tiny tube, a
Okay.
cannula, or a port, if that's easier term for y'all. And
Y'all.
And what it does is this little device, you can see the
Yeah.
tube. It kind of just pumps.
People just think she's living in the past. She's got like an MP3 player. Yeah.
Or, I can tell them house arrest or whatever.
Yeah.
But
That's a good one. Yeah.
But it delivers the insulin. So there's two different kinds of deliveries you can get. You have a basal rate, which is a small amount of insulin, like every hour. So that's your constant pancreatic drip.
And it does it automatically.
Automatically.
Can you manually do it?
Yes. For anything like food-wise, carbs, if I'm going to be drinking.
Oh, so if you're like,
yeah.
it's a birthday, so I'm having some cake.
Yeah, I'll bolus, and that's the term used. And there's correction boluses for if you have a high blood sugar, I can correct and just give myself a...
And it's pretty much instant, right? Because it's obviously right in the stream there.
Yeah. And this pump is nice because there's another little device. You've seen Nick Jonas do the commercials for Dexcom. That's what I wear. It talks to my pump. So now this pump is called closed loop, which means I do less work. It talks to the Dexcom, and it'll give me more insulin automatically if I'm high, and then it'll shut the pump off if I'm low. So
That's really
it
cool.
acts like a normal person's pancreas. And
Yeah, that's crazy. That's awesome how high tech it is now. So it's like, especially for someone like, because you're very, like, you've been living like this for a long time, so you're very aware of everything, like how, like, you feel like you're just like, oh, I definitely need to eat soon.
Oh, yeah.
Or something. So someone that is not so aware as you could like die.
And that's
easily.
why Dexcom is like so good. But they have like diabetic alert dogs now. And believe it or not, in Texas, a couple of years ago, I would proof them. So because my sugars were so brittle and I could feel my highs and lows, I was training these dogs to signal.
That's crazy.
So they could, or like test them and like see if they would signal, if they could feel where my sugars were, because I automatically knew. And then they went on to their forever homes, for someone who needs them.
Do you think they sent like, is this a thing where they sense the change in you acting differently, or they can really smell scent the actual sugar?
Yeah, and the way it's done,
because that's crazy.
It's scent training.
That's crazy. That's cool.
What they would do is they would find a person with a low blood sugar, and they would like kind of soak their saliva in a baggie, and they would let the dog smell it, and the dog got used to it and be like, okay, give the signal or whatever. It's a boop or a paw or...
That makes sense because remember we talked about how like even in like someone's urine, it can smell like sweet. Like I have a friend that tells me, I won't say her name just because it might be embarrassing, but she says to me, "My pee smells like cereal milk, like sweet cereal milk."
Well, the keto diet, if your breath smells fruity, you're in ketosis, and
yeah, I've heard that.
Technically, diabetics can do it. I choose to stay away from it because my body's been through DKA, and it's not ketosis to
What's DKA?
Diabetic ketoacidosis. So it's similar to the diet, but with diabetes, it like affects my organs. And so I just choose to stay away from it. But when you have ketones, your breath smells fruity and sweet, and because it's breaking down sugar instead of proteins and everything else.
Yeah, so that's crazy that you can train dogs to do that kind of thing. Maggie would be terrible at that.
And believe it or not, my little puppy, she's 10 now. I've had her since she was about 8 months old. I didn't train her. She just automatically alerts because she knows my body changes. And it's nice because those dogs are quite pricey.
Yeah. Oh, so you got that kind of dog on purpose?
No.
Oh, you mean
my dogs are rescue.
You mean if they were going to train them?
Yeah, if you get like a diabetic alert dog, they're worth about as much as a car.
I bet.
Yeah.
Or same thing probably with seeing eye dogs.
Same thing because they put all the time and hours in. And the thing with service dogs, you got to keep them working. You can't pet them.
Right. People get yelled at. That's why it's nice when people say, "Can I pet your dog?"
Yeah, and I'm just like, no, she's working or he's working. And...
Right. And a normal person would understand that because, yeah. But no, that's pretty cool. So your dog knows, and it's funny because sometimes dogs will, I don't know, they always say like the old adage is like they can smell fear, but I guess that's like your sweat and things like that they can sense.
Energy too, I guess.
Yeah.
To a degree, but I think it's mostly nose.
See, that's
like
what I was asking. Can they sense I'm sure they can definitely sense the energy, but they also sense the more physical things on you. Because I even remember when I had surgery, I had like I had like cysts in the back of my neck, so it looks like someone tried to cut my head open.
Oh yeah.
And no, I got a cool scar. I like it. And I remember it was really cool. I remember my parents were trying to pull off the bandages, and that hurt. It was stuck on because of the blood.
The caked on blood.
So it felt. I was like, I could have sworn they were pulling out the stitches because of how like much pressure it felt.
Yeah.
And like Maggie was just like sitting on the couch, like licking me profusely to like comfort me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cute. And then like she's very independent. She'll come up to you. She's very friendly. But like if you pick her, she does not like to be picked up or anything like that. Hates it. I do it all the time, so she hates it. But I was just like in bed and she just like cuddled right up next to me. It's really cute because she doesn't always do that. So it's like really special when she does. So yeah, she knew. She was wanting to like comfort me. Like it's cool how they do that kind of thing. You also notice, this is random. We're getting off topic. But this is random. You ever notice like you take your dogs to go to the bathroom, obviously. Whenever Maggie goes to the bathroom, she's like just sitting there and then she looks back at me.
She looks at
to
you.
make sure I'm like watching and protecting her. And I swear, I'll go to the bathroom, I'll come out, and she'll be like waiting
at the door,
protecting me while I'm in my most vulnerable state.
Well, if like being a fur parent, like if your door is like the slightest bit cracked open, they will come in because they are protective and they're dominant. So like you're their property, they need to protect you, even if it's a 20-pound little thing.
Yeah. Actually, they say that those dogs are more territorial. I saw this like test done once. It was like an online thing. Like some news organization did it where they pretended that there was a burglar coming in the house. Like they had an actual guy dress up and walk in the house and there was like a bigger dog, like, I don't know, some kind like a retriever or something. It like bolted. And then this little freaking chihuahua, when they did it to this chihuahua, it was like all in the person's face, like on the couch, like just like getting in between it's crazy. You wouldn't think that. You think the bigger dogs would be. Nope. It really, I guess it depends on the dog as well, but
Chihuahuas are the devil. I mean, that's what my dog is, and she will rip your face off if she doesn't know you and she like you're gonna threaten me or my like family. She will come and rip your face off, and that's the same dog that signals for the diabetic lows. She can tell, like she'll like be on contact with me, touching like my leg or my arm all the time. and I'll feel pressure, and then I know, like, oh, I feel a dip coming, and I got to test my sugar and get a Coke, and then she just looks at you, and it's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's so cool. Do you think there's types of dogs that are better at that? I guess it's the ones that have better sense. Do you think, like, what is it, the Basset Hound? Is that the one that they
I
have
don't
like sniff for
know.
like people, like you have them sniff the clothing?
I don't know, because mostly I see a lot of labs, I see Goldens, I
I
see
feel like those are. That's because those dogs are the most easy to be trained,
they
right?
love people.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So they're people pleasers. So they're like, oh, you want me to learn this? I'll learn it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
feed me and I'll get it
Because
done.
I heard they weren't the most intelligent dogs, but they're the most. They're like good soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about like the bullying now.
Okay.
Why you don't want to talk about it?
We can. It's so broad, you know.
I know it is.
I think it should be addressed though, because we've all been through it.
Was that one of the reasons that you changed high schools?
Health was the main, but I
Mhm.
got picked on from an early age because of diabetes and just stuff. I knew I wanted to be a horn player at an early age, so
Mhm.
but it I'm not going to say like it messed me up mentally. It's just I learned a lot from it. And I learned,
So that's
at,
almost a good thing in a
yeah.
certain way. It's
Yeah,
a
you learn.
double-edged sword.
Yeah, but nowadays you see bullying and it's just bombardment after bombardment. I mean, back in the day, we didn't have the social media. We didn't have Facebook where you just get it consistently on Facebook. Ours was more in person, through telephone, and on the bus. The school bus was
Yeah.
horrible.
Yeah, no, that's true. Shit was annoying too. They talk about bullying as if it's worse nowadays. But I don't think it is. Or are they just more in tuned to the bullying?
Being a private music teacher now in the schools, I observe taunting and picking on kids, and I see tears, and you can just feel it. And
Is
see
it worse
it's
though when you experienced it?
Back then, I thought I had it the worst, and it was you were never going to recover from it. I think these kids get it way worse.
Really?
I do, because it's not only at school. Now you have the social media platforms, so they're getting it consistently every hour of every day, and getting tagged
That's almost worse because words just between people, they go away.
they do.
But things like this, things like online, those words stay there forever. Unless you delete it, obviously. But like that, I understand what you're saying with that. How that would be worse.
And unfortunately, in the schools, you tell the teacher being like, I'm getting picked on, I'm getting bullied. They don't do a thing. They're like, oh, go to the guidance counselor. We'll keep an eye on it. But what is actually keeping an eye on it? Is it addressing the other students that doing the picking? Or is it, we're just going to watch from a distance and see what unfolds? They don't take care of the situation in the time frame. And that's why you have Uvalde. That's why you have Sandy Hook. And like all these kids are tormented for so long and no one does anything, even though they do cry out for help, that like you get lost lives, unfortunately, whether it's suicide or murder. I hate to say it that way. And I think it's way worse now.
Wow. I'm surprised because I thought it was pretty bad back then. And I feel like nowadays you're just like, bullying is it wasn't a big issue back then. Nobody had our backs back then.
No.
Like, it was more of like, somebody hits you, hit them back. Like, that
Yep.
was how I was raised, but I really didn't.
Or bullying gives you thicker skin and you learn and you grow and you get tougher. Or
But you did. You did.
I guess so. I don't know.
So, like, with that's a thing, though. Sometimes people with trauma, they get over it and they become stronger.
Yes. I guess with social media, that's why everyone's so sensitive. Because everyone gets offended by every little thing. And at least with my students, their ages, 10 through adulthood, and they'll come in and we'll have a therapy session instead of a class, just because they're comfortable enough to tell me that this is what's going on, this is why I'm not playing well, this is why I'm not focused.
No, that's a good thing.
And so they have someone that understands it, being like, oh, I get you, I understand. I was where you were many years ago, but they're looking for a reaction. I think bullies want the reaction.
Yeah, if you ignore them, they
So-
don't. They'll. It's true. If you ignore them, they'll leave you alone.
They'll leave you alone.
They'll find somebody else to terrorize.
Yeah.
It's true. You ignore somebody, they don't. They don't really care.
And that's why, I was always called robot, because I wouldn't react to it. Because
It's the same thing. Like if you prank somebody and they don't have a funny reaction, you're not going to prank them anymore.
no.
I was never a teacher, but one of my favorite jobs was I was a camp counselor with Jason. That's how I met my good friend Alex. Like it was, and Julie, and that was like a lot of fun. And I didn't see. I think it's because, specifically, like the groups that I had, they were all really good kids, and we were almost like a close knit group. Like if there was anything, we'd be like, "Come on, guys!"
Yeah.
And like I also feel like I understood a lot of them. Some of them had problems. When this one kid was my favorite. He had like, he had like obsessive compulsive disorder. He had ADD, but like, so he'd get like emotional, but we'd be like, "It's all right. Don't worry about it." Just he would like, there would be like his rock. He'd be like, "All right, go sit on your rock and just like chill," and he'd be fine. So I remember like the year after when I stopped doing it because I graduated college, he got like in trouble, and I was like, I bet you it's because like they just didn't know how to handle him. So I felt like really bad. I'm like, he's a good kid, he really is, and he even confided with me once. I didn't know what to do because he was like, "Yeah, my dad was like mean to me the other day," and I don't know if he said he hit him or something, but and I was like, "Oh," he's like, "Don't tell anybody," and I'm like, "I won't," but I like had to.
Yeah.
So I
you
felt
have
like
to.
really bad, and they like knew his family really well, so like his dad was just kind of like a loud guy, so I think he just kind of scared him. But like, for a kid to confide in you, it's significant.
That
So I
means
was
a
like,
lot.
so I was like, I got to tell somebody, but then I
Yes.
felt really bad. I was like,
No,
but I had to.
especially when you do that, and especially like if you have a kid that comes up and says, "Hey, how are you doing? Oh, Daddy hit me."
Yeah.
You can't.
That's huge.
You can't just sweep that under the table. They're like, "Don't tell anyone." You got to let CPS know, or because that might be an ongoing thing. It couldn't be a one-time occurrence.
Yeah, you could save that kid.
You gotta take those when they trust you, because for the most part, kids have a naive side to them. They're still kind of innocent, and
Well, that's a good thing.
and then life smacks them in the
That's
face.
actually, it's interesting you said that, because it's like when we had to do the camp counseling stuff, we obviously had to talk about like serious stuff, and it was like don't take their innocence away with doing the camp count. That was a fun job. Those kids are fun, especially at that age. I had like 8 or 9, so they were like before the awkward middle school age.
Oh, yeah.
Like they were super cool. It was so much fun. Like we would just go out, we would just be outside playing like sports with them all day.
Awesome.
It was a good time.
And that's still like the no filter age, so anything can come out of their mouths.
Yeah.
And
This one kid, like he had a crush on this like not even a girl at his grade, on another counselor. So he'd be like, "Yeah, she looks really pretty today." I'm like, "She does." No, but it was a fun time. But yeah, you're working with like high schoolers, right? Like
middle
right.
school,
Oh, middle school too.
elementary school through.
Oh, so you're working with everybody. So who's the hardest to work with?
Behavioral wise or like bullying wise?
Behavioral wise.
That's like your middle schoolers, because they're at that transitional age.
Yeah.
That age is weird because
No,
they
I
don't
was
know
weird,
if they
yeah.
they don't know if they're like considered adults or
Yeah, they're not.
not really kids anymore. They're trying to be cool, and that's where all the cliques start happening. Cliques started happening, I noticed, like 6th, 7th grade, and especially here, back home, and that's when all the cliques were happening. And who do I hang out with? Who would think I'm cool or not? And I didn't care. I didn't care if I was cool or not. I just wanted friends.
Yeah, I didn't think our high school was that cliquey, but you did.
Yeah.
Because in my opinion, maybe it's just in a different way. Like, it's not like it was in the movies where you'd have like specific jocks and nerds. It wasn't like, it's not like
No.
that. Because you see like different people playing sports, but they were still like in the musicals and things like that. It
Yeah.
was different. Like there was a lot of different people like in marching band.
Who played football
Exactly,
and
exactly.
cheerleading.
Yeah, yeah.
But, like, you do see the pods of friends. Like, you wouldn't just hang out with Joe Schmo one day and then, like, Sarah the next day, like, just randos. And you had your distinct group of friends. And so that's a clique in itself. But why judge the other groups? you know? And so that's how I observed it, and I was a weirdo. I'm still a weirdo, but
Yeah.
I would just observe being like, why is that person being mean to that person? And I didn't understand how people could just be mean for being a musician or being diabetic or being tall.
Well, they're just
stupid.
It's just insecurities.
And
or they're trying to be cool. They're trying to elevate themselves.
And that's what I explain to my students. It's just like they're being ugly to you because they don't feel good about themselves. And so it's a defense mechanism that trying to make them look tougher when they're actually hurting as well.
Sometimes. I think a lot of the times, but I don't always subscribe to that notion that bullies have no confidence. Some bullies feel very highly of themselves.
They still hurt.
They actually do.
They still.
I think everybody hurts.
Yeah, true.
But
well, I'm old now, so I hurt all the time.
Oh my God, I know.
But it's most of them come from a place of pain. Others are trying to do it to look cool or get status up the click chain or whatever you want to call it, be popular or whatever. And it's just, I just think it's unnecessary. My mom's like, don't say anything to anyone that you don't want said to you. And I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, if you don't say anything, if you don't have anything nice to say,
don't say anything at all.
Was that from Bambi?
I guess so.
I think that's from Bambi. Yeah, my parents used to say that too.
But then my parents would also say, if you do anything wrong, I'll break your fingers and your toes.
My parents never threatened me with violence.
But they never did. They never did. My parents, never, laid a hand on me.
Yeah.
But I broke all my toes myself, in just certain situations. But it's...
Have you broken a lot of bones?
Hell yeah.
I haven't broken any. I have broken none.
Yeah.
You don't need to knock. You've broken a million. How many bones you broken?
Oh, well, my toes multiple times.
So that wasn't a joke when you just said that.
No, yeah, dead serious.
Which,
I broke my pinky.
How'd you break your toes? That sounds like a bitch.
Being a klutz.
Yeah.
Being clumsy a lot of the times, but...
She fell in this room earlier.
I broke my foot playing kickball.
And you want to play tonight?
Yeah. I was barefoot, though. I was barefoot, but I got a grand slam. I won the game, so... I broke my elbow.
Do you have kickball clothes?
I don't have...
You can play in boots? Do you have sneakers?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's in my suitcase. But...
Because I saw a couple people aren't coming, so we'll see. Because originally there was like 15, and I'm like, oh my God.
Oh, dang.
It's going to be rough.
No one wants to get muddy. I haven't seen rain in a hot minute, so I'm excited.
No, we play in a legit... Oh, I didn't tell you this. We play in a legit like kickball field.
Dang.
It's very cool. That's why I got like my shins are like killing because it's like hard. You're running on like, think of it as a tennis court.
Okay. Yeah.
Like that kind of almost rubbery ground.
That astroturfy, but it's not turf.
Yeah,
it's not turf
I don't
though.
know
It's
what
like
it
that.
is. Yeah.
I get it. Yeah.
That's what it is. So it's pretty cool. So it's just wet. It's not going to be muddy. If it's rainy, it's just going to be wet. So they'll wait for it to evaporate or something. So hopefully they won't call it off because it's supposed to stop raining at like 4. And the first games in the night are like 6:30. So they might just push them off.
Oh, you're not going to play in the rain. I haven't seen rain in a hot minute though, so.
You came for the right weekend. It was a freaking we're getting remnants of the hurricane up here.
I know.
Oh yeah. So you brought with you the first love of your life. Right?
Yes, my first love.
Her French horn. Did you know that I played the French horn?
Yes, you told me.
Many times, I'm sure.
Many times.
But I was really bad.
Yes.
Like, really bad. No, I guess I played that in middle school. I played trumpet, but I was better. I was way better at the trumpet. I wasn't good at the trumpet, but I was way better than the French horn. Isn't that like one of the hardest instruments?
Yes, and I have multiple degrees in it.
Oh, you trying to brag?
No.
You flexing?
No. Flex? No, I'm kidding.
But what brought you... Why the French horn?
Honestly, I just watched Fantasia one day and I was like, I want to play that one.
Really?
Yeah, my family's really musical and we've had every instrument known to man in the house and I picked the one we didn't have. And I was just
your parents were like, what the heck? We have all these.
Yeah, and they're like, why'd you pick that one? I just saw it and I
mean, it's a unique looking instrument compared to the other ones, yeah.
And when it came up on the screen, I was like a fat kid in a candy store. I just wanted it sounded cool too. And when you listen to most movie scores or themes on TV,
Mm-hmm.
it's French horn. It's not really trumpet.
And you wouldn't know. I think that the regular person wouldn't know. They'd be like, "Oh, is that a trombone or a
Yeah.
trumpet?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I had a music case and they're like, "Is that a bowling ball? Are you on the bowling team?" I'm like, "Absolutely."
Like, could you play like what is that from like a Star Wars: A New Hope, when they're seeing the two moons and it's like I feel like you could play that
Kind
really.
of,
I
yeah.
feel like you could play that on the French horn.
Yeah, it's not memorized, but
Right.
like if you put the music in front of me, I can. I did Leia's theme for many concerts. I can
Mm-hmm.
play Mandalorian, Harry Potter, Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones. Keep going. Like and you can actually have a career doing soundtrack, but
I bet.
your sight reading has to be the top of the top. Like you have to be nails. You cannot make any mistakes, and you just put headsets on, have a microphone, and you go. You play.
You should do like being like John Williams symphony or something.
Yeah, I met him.
You did?
I did
That's
in
freaking.
college.
He's
Yeah.
like probably the biggest legend in that kind of industry.
Yeah, he's done. I think he's done composing Star Wars now. Like
Yeah, I heard. I
'cause
mean,
in
he's how much has he
he's
done?
He's
Yeah.
90.
Yeah,
in his
he's
90s.
90.
Yeah, he's in his
Wow,
90s.
I mean, it makes sense because he's been around for
Mm-hmm.
decades.
Yeah, no, I went to my French horn teacher's house in Chicago, and he was like, "We have a special guest," and he opens the door, and John Williams is right there, and I was like, like
Oh my God.
I
Did
like,
you actually act like that in front of John
oh, I
Williams?
fangirled. I'm like, "Can I have your autograph?"
He's like, "Go away." You have his autograph?
No, I don't. But like,
He wouldn't give it to you?
yeah, no, he's like, "You got to pay," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm broke.
Really?
I'm a broke college
Come
kid."
on, John Williams. What
No,
the heck?
but he had this like extendable fork, so he was taking food from like everyone's plates that was there, which was amazing.
Wow,
Like he had
that's-
this like extendable fork and he was just going like taking like turkey from everyone's plate.
You wouldn't expect that from John Williams.
Oh, it
What
was
the
awesome.
heck?
Yeah, no, it was really cool cuz like he's
That's
best friends
crazy.
with my horn teacher and
Now you got to meet the other two.
yeah,
In my mind, there's like three big
Howard
ones.
Shore.
Well, I don't even know who that is. Danny Elfman,
Okay,
who
yeah.
was like really big. He did a lot of things in the
Oh
90s
yeah, I know.
and stuff.
He's
Yeah,
Tim
yeah.
Burton films.
And then Hans Zimmer,
yes.
who does like the epic ones. of, like-
Gladiator.
yeah, and Inception and things
Mm-hmm.
like that.
But Howard Shore, he did Lord of the Rings. and
Okay, yeah.
He looked at me in the audience
huge.
once. I went to a concert and saw that live, and he was just like, he was like checking out the audience, and I was
He
like,
checked
oh,
you
we
out?
made eye contact. Yeah, no, I was little. I was still in high school when I saw that. So that was cool.
That is cool. That is cool. What like celebrities have you met that are like were huge for you? So obviously John Williams, like anyone that knows music or
Yeah.
movies knows him, and that would be that's incredible. Is there anyone else that you've met or that stands out?
Billy Boyd. He was in.
I'm bad with names.
He was Pippin in Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
He
Okay.
sang actually in the Return of the King where he's singing to the guy in Gondor eating his food and whatever. I don't remember his name. Long time
I'll be
ago.
honest with you. I only saw the first one and nothing happened, so I never saw the other two.
But he's actually singing there and he has a beautiful voice.
Really?
I like meeting stars and seeing what they do. Just because, it's a trade. It's an art, like play music,
Yeah, yeah.
sing, voice acting. So I go to Comic-Cons to meet
Mm-hmm.
all the voice actors, and believe it or not, they're freelance musicians. So they all have extracurriculars outside of doing the voice of Goku or
Right.
Star Wars.
I imagine most of those voiceover actors are very good singers as well.
And so I asked the question, I'm like, voice acting is different because you create this voice. Does it hurt your vocal cords because you're doing this raspy
I'm sure
voice?
some do, yeah.
And she was like, no, I just put it in a certain place. So she knows the anatomy of her vocal cords that won't hurt her voice so she can create these other characters and still be able to sing.
Some do. I forget her name, but she plays Lois.
Oh, yeah.
She used to play Cleveland Brown's wife, Loretta.
Yeah,
She'd
yep.
be like, "Hi there, Cleveland." And she said they had to like kill her off, or they got like a divorce or something because she could not do it anymore. It was like hurting her voice.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. I just find it so fascinating because it's art. So
And you're just like, you can be completely different people. It's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you watch The Office, Brian Baumgartner, who plays Kevin.
Yep.
You hear him talk now, and you're like, what?
What?
He's a normal person. He's not like, hi. He's like, hello,
Yeah.
I'm Brian. Like, he's a normal person. It's just really cool.
Well, Family Guy,
Yeah,
Seth
yeah.
MacFarlane, he's amazing. And you can actually watch when he does an interview, can you play the same characters?
Yeah, he's always like a performing monkey. Everyone's always like,
his face changes, though,
Yeah.
with each character.
yeah. He does
Hey, Cleveland, or-
yeah.
And same with Bart Simpson, that's played by a female. She does the
Mm-hmm.
voice of Nelson. She does the voice of Bart. She's the voice of Chucky on Rugrats.
Oh,
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really impressive. Now I'll realize that, like, because we play video games together.
Mm-hmm.
I'll realize that, oh, this girl from Overwatch is the same one from Apex.
Yep.
Yeah, like the one girl who does Symmetra plays the I forget the one on Overwatch, but yeah, it's pretty cool
That's neat.
how you notice that kind of thing.
In video games and cartoon world, it's a very close-knit circle.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, it's cool when I realize things like that, because I used to love this show called Bird Notice. It was
Okay.
on USA, and it was like a really slick. Some people might find it corny, but I just thought it was really cool.
Yeah.
Because he was like a burn spy, and he would like teach you how to get out of situations. So it seemed like a real thing. And I remember one character, she was like an antagonist, and then I realized she voice acted on one of my favorite video games, StarCraft. She was like Sarah Kerrigan. I was like, that's pretty crazy.
Wow.
Because I was like, I recognize she's got this kind of raspy, like attractive voice, and I was like, it sounds familiar.
Well, like Master Kavar in Kodar, the Star Wars games, Knights of the Old Republic, he's the
One of the best games ever.
he's the narrator in Clone Wars. The
Really?
cartoon.
Yeah, yeah.
And you can hear the voice, Master Kavar, and you're like, oh, I heard his voice before. Yeah, because he was a Jedi Master.
There's a lot of things like that, like the Wonder Years.
Oh, yep.
Who does that? Do you know who does the older voice of him?
Fred Savage, the older Fred Savage, the narrator.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know his name.
No.
But it's Marv from Home Alone.
Yeah, I know
From
who you're
Home Alone.
talking.
Yeah,
Marv.
yeah. Yep. Yep. Well, even like, I'm sure a lot of people know this. I don't even watch it, but from How I Met Your Mother, isn't that Bob Saget?
Yeah.
Like, that's really cool. That's such a random little thing. He was great. But yeah, do you wanna play some stuff?
I can. You're gonna have to adjust the mic stuff.
Yeah,
It's
no,
gonna
that's
be
fine.
loud.
Yeah. All right, let's do it. Oh, so this is how you put it together, huh? So tell me about the Hornets. Like this, are there different kinds of French horns?
Oh yes.
So yeah, because I have no concept of this. Because I had like a cheap French horn and it was like owned by the school. It didn't do that.
This one's custom made.
Okay.
So
For like your hands or what?
this one was custom made. It was
Yeah.
made for my undergrad teacher because he's like, I'm famous, remake my horn. I want a backup.
Yeah.
And I was in the process of looking for a French horn. And he got this shipped to him, and he's like, I hate it. This is different. It's not the same. So then I tried
Wow.
it, and he's like, I know you're ordering a French horn, but cancel that order and pay me, and then you get my horn. So I got this horn, and it took forever to pay him off, but it's one of a kind. They don't have any other model because the man who made this actually doesn't live anymore. He
You
passed.
can say
he passed.
died.
Yeah, he passed, but he has a specific valve system, the Merriweather system, that's very unique, and many famous horn players are like, "Are you going to sell your horn?" I'm like, "If you pay for my education, I'll hand it right out." So
How much does something like that cost?
this horn, back when I bought it, it was $13K.
$13,000. Wow.
It was as much as my car in high
Do
school.
you think it's worth more now?
Yeah, because
Yeah?
there's limited. There's
Really?
limited of this
Limited
horn.
edition.
Yeah, limited edition.
How much do you think?
I would say 15, 16, because they're trying to make a copy or a replica of this horn, and they're trying to upsell it for 17, 18, close to 20K, and there's just nothing in comparison.
So is there like a big difference in the quality of sound?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Well, you're a trained ear, so you would know the best. Yeah.
This one's a triple horn, whereas mostly you have a double or single.
What does that mean?
I have 3 rows of tubing. So each row is a different length of tubing. The front row is 14 feet. The next row back is 9, and then 4. And it just tells how high you can go and clarity of the notes. You can hear a difference between all of it. Oh, I'm going to be right against the wall. Okay. I'm just trying to figure out acoustically because I don't want to make your ears bleed. So.
Well, yeah, just move the mic back.
Well, like
towards
this
me.
too, because my bell's here. So I'm going to.
All right.
I'll figure it out.
That's fine. We'll be fine.
But.
Yeah, just push that away from you a little bit now.
All right. So. I can scream because I teach too. I have teacher's voice.
Okay.
Like the 14 feet of tubing, like you'll hear a difference. It's like. Whereas if I do the 9 feet of tubing, there's a little bit of brightness to it, and then you do the 4 feet of tubing, it sounds like basically a toy horn. And it's really different.
We're going to play Name That Tune. All right, so our first tune, let's go. I mean, I know what it is. We'll see if they know. Harry Potter. Was that The Mandalorian? That sounds like that Star Wars Princess Leia thing. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's what I thought, but I was second guessing myself again.
Yeah. Yeah, and so forth, but I messed that one up, but
Yeah.
I need music for that one.
Yeah, I bet. I it's impressive that you can do it all that off the cuff anyway. How many times have you visited New Jersey?
Since I
you
graduated?
left?
Technically 3, including this time.
Yeah.
Because I went to Philly for a wedding, and then I visited my other friend's wedding.
Because I saw you once a while ago. We saw like a random movie. We did. We went to the East Hanover movie theater.
I don't remember that.
I'm so forgettable.
What was the movie?
I forget the name of it, but I know the movie. It was with Mandy Moore, and Robin Williams played like a priest, and they were like getting married, and he
Doubt?
was like, I don't know what it's called. Doubt. What is that?
I don't remember.
Are you just making
You sure
up?
it was me?
Yes. Are you just making it up? Making up what the name of the movie was? Doubt? Let me just say random words to see if that's the movie name.
No, because there was a movie called Doubt, but that had Meryl.
With Mandy Moore?
No, but it had Meryl Streep. And
Okay. How does that help?
it doesn't.
No, yeah. And then the second time was, we went to the diner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember the movie.
How come you haven't been back? You hate New Jersey?
No, I don't.
Do you enjoy Texas a lot? Like, are you like because I know a lot of people that weren't even like from Texas, but they moved there and they're very like, they love Texas. They're very into it.
They have pride. Like, not
Do you have pride?
Texas pride. I mean, I've lived there forever because basically what ended up happening was undergrad, spring break. My parents
Yeah.
are like, oh, by the way, when you fly home to go home, don't go to New Jersey, go to Texas. They
That's
moved.
messed up. That's
they
crazy.
moved before I could even.
I would have been like heartbroken. That's crazy.
Oh, I was so mad. I was so mad.
Why did they move? Like a job reason?
Because my oldest brother moved there first. And so my mom's like, everybody loves Raymond, and she wants to go in everyone's house. Kind
Does
of
she
that.
do that still?
Oh, no. She knows her place, so.
Oh shit! You put her in her place.
No, but like
Michelle P.
she won't be a creeper like that. But
No.
And so I went there, and the first day I came back, it was the 2006 Collin County tornado. So my parents are like, what do you think? What do you think of the new house? And I looked up, and I see the sky, like, turning.
Oh no.
And I was like, do you have a basement? And they're like, what's a basement? There's no
They have to know what a basement
No,
is.
yeah, but like in Texas.
I have a basement right there.
Yeah. No, they don't. No basement in Texas.
Why? Wait.
The ground's too hard.
Oh.
The ground is way too hard. Like the soil's clay.
So how do you survive? You just go in the bathtub.
You go in the bathtub or any closet away from outside walls or doors. Because you can get sucked out because there's straight line winds.
I bet. Yo, that's scary.
It's really scary.
I don't fuck with tornadoes. That's scary. Like if I remember I was a kid, we were down the shore in Seaside. My parents used to like rent a house for a week at Ocean Beach, and we were at the bay, just like hanging out there, and we could just see
The water spouts or
no, up in the air, just like this weird swirling, and it was like, and we were like, what is that? And then some like random lady was like, oh yeah, there's like there's a tornado warning. And I was like, oh my God. And I'm like scared. I was like, I was a kid, and my sister and my dad were just like, oh my God, it looks so cool. Look at it. They were staring at it. My mom and I were like, let's get the hell out of here, because this is fucking scary.
Yeah, but in Texas it's normal. People go outside. They don't they don't go to cover out, you know, and you know who's like native born Texan and who's from out of town. And unfortunately California's coming to Texas, and
They're probably like that. Like, you know how like they know that you're from Texas because they're used to those tornadoes and stuff.
Yeah.
It's probably the same thing with the Californians when it comes to earthquakes. That's
and
just
fires.
that's just another day.
Ugh.
I mean, I don't think you can get used to fires.
No, that's terrible, but
Are there a lot of Californians there now? In your area or in general?
in general.
I guess in general, too.
We're getting all the restaurants, and I think
What kind of restaurants?
what smash burgers and OC burgers.
What's wrong with smash? Oh, yeah, because you like Waterburger.
Whataburger. Whataburger.
Yeah, just say it normally.
Whataburger.
Yeah, she said Waterburger. You heard that right. No, Texans say it like that.
No, I like Risky's barbecue. That's good.
I don't know what that is. Sounds good, though.
Mexican food is delicious down there. It's so good.
I'm sure.
It's so good.
Tex-Mex?
Texas does not have good bagels and does not have good pizza.
No,
At all.
I know. When I went to San Antonio, it was the worst pizza I've had in my entire life.
I was on the plane and my mouth was watering because I was like, oh my gosh, I get a piece of pizza that's actually delicious, and I was looking forward to that. So
Yeah, you had what was it? Millie's pizza. How was that?
Delicious. Had a meatball too.
Yeah, that meatball did not agree with you.
Shush.
No, Millie's is really good.
Yeah,
it's like fancier pizza. So
Gourmet.
El Prez didn't give it a good score because that's not his style pizza.
Huh. Okay.
He gave it like a 6 something, but it's good if you like that kind. If you like fancier pizza, the mashed potato, like, it's a weird thing, but it's good. I like it a lot. How's like the random food like sushi out there? Is it just like
Sushi's okay?
Just fine.
Well, there's some high-end sushi restaurants there, but everything's fresh. They'll like import the fish, but Chinese food is terrible. It's like it's Panda but worse. But they're known for barbecue, steak.
Yeah.
Not near me, but if you go like 9 hours west, you can go to a place and get a 72-ounce steak. And then if you eat that and the mash, like all the sides and the drink, you get your meal for free.
Is that near you?
No, like 9
Are there
hours.
any places near you that have things like that? Because Bald Sexy wants to do those kind of things.
The man versus food challenges and stuff.
Yeah.
No, but what was his face? What's his name? Was it Andrew's? No, Guy Fieri came to Chef Point Cafe down near us, it's okay, and it's just at a gas station, but it's really good food. A lot of wing places, a lot of.
Oh, I love wings.
We have so many different wing places. Gas Monkey Garage, you can check out some vintage cars. That's Richard Rollins' restaurant. That's more Dallas. That's like 30 miles east of me.
So for you, that's like next town over.
Yeah.
For Texas, that's next town over.
Seriously.
30 miles, yeah.
No, you got to drive an hour everywhere. Like.
Yeah, you drive to work. You're like, hey, I'm going to work. I'm halfway there. I have another hour and a half to go.
Yeah. And like, I'll hear you guys. You're like, oh, it's 40 minutes away, and complain about that. I'm like, that's like rush hour for me. You know, it's.
I hate.
And I move like 5 miles in 45 minutes. It's ridiculous.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
But
I wouldn't be able to handle that.
Yeah, no.
You complained about our driving around here.
No, I didn't complain.
But your traffic is worse, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, traffic is worse. I'm just flabbergasted by the speed limits. They're so slow because in Texas it's 70, 80, and so that
there's
means
actually 80.
80.
Wow.
80.
I don't think I've ever seen a sign that says 80.
But on the norm in a 65, people go 85 or 90. So you're flying.
I mean, people still go 80 here, but
No, but everyone does that, even Grammy.
do you think people get pulled over less? Like, the cops don't care if you're going 80 because that's like the norm?
No.
Or they will?
Oh, yeah. That you go like a mile over the limit and they'll pull you over.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, they're not nice.
No?
No. And they all wear like the cowboy hats, especially like the
With a
state
big
troopers.
belt?
No, the state troopers, they're intimidating. They're like, "Why were you going there so fast?" And be like, "I was going to school." "Why were you going so fast?" "I don't know. I have a lead foot." "Okay, be safe."
They let you off,
And then
though?
it's like a $400 ticket.
Wow.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Why is it that much?
Texas.
Well, how much faster were you going, though? So if you're over 15, that's reckless driving.
Yeah.
So they could,
I should have went to court.
Yeah. So
I
they
shoulda
could give you points and everything.
I should have, but they were nice. So
You sweet-talked them.
no, I was just like, "I'm sorry. I didn't realize how fast I was going."
You realized, though.
I was cruising. Yeah.
You knew. She knew.
I knew.
She had the cruise control set for 105.
No, but you guys are not as aggressive. I think you think they're aggressive. Texas, there's a wreck every single day. And
I
it's
don't know. I guess it depends.
like here I feel everyone's like, "Oh, you go. No, you go." And I know you have those people that'll weave in and out of the lanes, but in Texas they don't use blinkers. So you don't know when they come over. They'll brake check you and they'll ride like right up behind you, tailgate you, and they have nowhere to go. That's why during Snowmageddon, that when we had that ice storm, there was that 185 car pile up because it was an express.
God.
It was an express tollway, so they couldn't go anywhere. Someone was doing something they weren't supposed to. The 18-wheelers crashed, and then it just boom, 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 boom. Because those express lanes, you're going 80. You're going 80, but Texans don't understand ice, so they don't know you have to go slower, and they don't.
But you understand ice.
Oh yeah, I was waving. I was like, "Hi."
Well, because you also went to school in Pittsburgh, so I'm
And
sure
Chicago.
they had freaking ice in Chicago. Yeah.
Yep. I'm like, you gotta correct your swerve. You gotta understand that.
Yeah, well, I mean, have they had a lot of ice since then? Probably
No.
not at all. So
Once a year.
yeah,
And then they see a snowflake and school gets canceled for like 2 days.
yeah, because I don't know, they don't know how to handle it.
But then they have to make those school days up. So, but
It just depends where you're from, because I'm sure in Buffalo you only get a foot of snow and they still have school
like-
or something like
well,
that.
what was the rule here? If 3 people fell on the ice unintentionally, they would cancel school. I remember that rule because I would ask, be like, we fell, and they're
I
like,
don't think that's a thing.
well,
That sounds like one of those things that a kid made up.
no.
Like, if my teacher's not there in the first 15 minutes, that means class is canceled. That wasn't a thing either in college, but people would say that.
And we would walk away.
But that wasn't actually a thing. That was
Oh.
like, that's made up shit, definitely.
But I know people did slip there and they did send us home, or at least dismiserables we called them, but
Who called it that?
the parents.
Oh,
Because
why?
the kids were like, "Yay, we're home!"
Yeah, that was the best. Early dismissal. Oh.
Oh,
I'll never forget the feeling of like waking up early and like
Looking out the window.
listening to the radio and like hearing that your school was canceled, and it was like the best.
Ka-ching!
Yeah. That doesn't happen anymore. They probably get like a phone call or like an email.
And now they're like, "Haha, we have Zoom, so you have to go to school."
No, I heard they still have snow days. Cause that would be stupid. Do you think the teachers want the school days too?
Yeah.
The snow days too?
Yeah.
No way. So what are you doing the rest of the time you're here? You're leaving on Tuesday, right?
Tomorrow, yeah.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow night.
Oh, yeah, it's Monday.
Yeah. And I go back to work actually the next day. So.
Oh, at least you got a nice little vacation.
I know.
Nobody comes to New Jersey for vacation. How was the brewery? You like the brewery?
It was delish,
That was
yeah.
fun, right?
I like that old man.
Old Shaggy something.
Old
Yeah, that
Shaggy
was
Balls or whatever
that was
it's
your
called.
favorite.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
delish.
No, it's good. And then I was there yesterday, so they're like, "Oh, welcome back." So I think I'm gonna be a regular there. No, it's
Oh,
pretty cool.
yeah.
They finally opened a brewery in town. You anything you want to shout out?
What did you call me in high school?
I don't understand.
Dennis the Menace, like the girl from Dennis.
Dennis the Menace. Who's that?
Dennis the Menace.
She looks like Margaret from Dennis the Menace. So I'm gonna put a picture up there of Margaret, and they'll see that it's true.
Oh my goodness.
Didn't you lose a bet in high school one time?
Yes. But
Hey,
now it's mainstream.
Caley got bullied by a teacher one time. She was wearing this anime's like mainstream now, right?
It's so mainstream.
Yeah, but back then I guess you were kind of a nerd.
And
Not
I got
you,
this
but in
cool
general.
silk shirt from Suncoast Movie, and it had Goku all over it. And the choir teacher was like, "Did you lose a bet?" I was like, "No, I'm wearing it because it's cool."
And then she blamed me and said I said that. I'm like,
you laughed.
so? Of course I did. It was funny. It was a good joke. But then you felt bad about it, though.
Mm-hmm.
But you took it like a champ.
Always. But now, like,
Do
I'll
you
wear
still
that.
have that shirt?
I do.
Yo, you should have brought it and worn it.
It's in the suitcase.
Oh my God.
I should have
That's
brought
so
it.
funny.
But no, I have a similar one now, and on the back it says, I will never forgive you.
Wow.
Yeah, but no, like, I'll wear that shirt in Walmart or wherever, and people are like, "Oh, cool shirt," and I'm like, "Yeah. I should have heard that like 10 years ago."
It's cool now. At least you were early to the party of being
I'm always early to the
weeb.
party. Yeah.
But yeah, is there anything you wanna shout out? Shout out your kids or something, or your
To my kids, they know my expectations. You better be practicing, and just remember, blow through the horn.
show us how you yell at them. Like, pretend I'm playing poorly, or like you could tell I didn't practice.
Your posture? No, your posture sucks. I just take your chair away. You have to stand the rest of the rehearsal.
But I don't want to.
Got to. If you don't want to be here, you're wasting Mom's money, my time. The door is right there. Get out.
You're really that mean?
Yes. No, but my kids, they work hard. They're good. It's very few that are schmucks. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, that's good that you have good kids, that they're not like douchebags. I'm glad you came up, but also glad you came on here. It was fun. That's pretty much it. We talked about everything we wanted to talk about.
We sure did.
And it was a good time. Caley, thanks for coming on. I'm glad you came up to visit, and this was a lot of fun.
This was fun.
But everyone, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening to the episode 3 of the podcast with Caley. Talking about what we talked about, bullies. We talked about
Diabetes.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope to see you guys next time. I'll catch you guys later.